Wait, where's the camera on here? Right here. Okay. Hello to both of you watching out there. My name is Aaron Guzzo. I am a patient of Dr. Cinik's at the Cinik Clinic in Istanbul, Turkey. I got my transplant 9 months ago, April 1st, 2021. It's currently a little after January 1st, 2022. So before I dive in on any specifics on the transplant itself, I'm just going to show you, here's the results. This is me. I'm not wearing any product, no cream, no powder, nothing. This is me. Take a look for yourself. See what you think. I got it done here for my hairline and a little patch on the back of my head. So back of head and front of hairline. I will be providing pictures as well from the date of the procedure. So I chose to get a transplant from a video much like this one where I saw someone who had done it. And I just want to be clear, I am not being paid to do this video. I was not asked to do this video. I just want to help other people who, like myself, were really struggling with hair loss, because if you're going through what I went through and so many men and women go through, you know it doesn't get better. It does not. There's nothing, creams, shampoos, exercise, diets, you can stall it, you can slow it down, but that's why I chose to do it, and it was a video like this, seeing a before and after, that helped me. So I am 33 years old. I was 32 when I got the transplant. I had been balding since I was, I don't know, early 20s, like 23, 24, slowly. And it was my hairline. It was slowly going back. The forehead was becoming a 5 head. Not only was I balding, but I had a family history of balding. All of the men on my mother's side. So I knew it was pretty inevitable what was coming my way. I want to show you a before pic. There you can see, this is the day of the procedure there. As you can see, that looks like a mugshot of a man arrested for stealing alcohol at Aldi's, who already knows he's going to do it again. That's a man who would take his kid to the park and get questioned because everyone assumes obviously he must have kidnapped that child. I want to talk about a little bit about how it's made me feel. I did not just buy hair, but I do believe if you go through with this procedure, you are buying confidence. I feel immensely better than before I did. I cannot stress, for those of you who have not gone through this, the anxiety and depression that it can lead to. I can confidently and happily say that has gone away after seeing these results come in. So, for Lord knows, people don't have a lot of time. If you're just wanting a recommend or not, I will say right now, I absolutely recommend the Cinik Clinic and getting a transplant in general. It has done wonders for me. Now, for those of you who are seriously considering it, I am going to dive into some of the specifics, talk to you about what the whole process was like for me, going all the way back to when I was first thinking about it. So I'm going to put timestamps in here. There are 4 sections. There's the process, I guess, or I should say the lead up of my thinking, why Turkey, to the process itself of them getting me to the operation, 3, the operation itself, the day of, and 4, recovery. So we will start with the lead, why I chose to do it. I already talked a little bit about that. You saw, I think, the before pic speaks for itself. The after, I think, also speaks for itself. But in short, some people can pull off the bald look. I'm not here to knock on bald men. We all know there are lots of attractive bald men who do rock it, the Jason Stathams of the world. We all cannot look, though, like the Bruce Willises. If you're like me, going bald, you're turning into a Keebler elf. There are people who mean well, at least in my case. I can speak for myself. A lot of people are saying, Aaron, you don't need it. You look fine. You look great. And you might be dealing with that. People saying, don't do the operation. It's what's inside that counts. I am Pun intended, a cynic myself, and I do believe if beauty were on the inside, there would be a surgery to turn people inside out. When people say to you, you don't need it, without them meaning it, it's a form of dismissal, of dismissing your pain. So I just, if you're still watching at this point, I just want to tell you your anxiety and how you feel about this is valid, and you are not vain, you are not shallow. If you have a problem with how you look or how you feel you look, for God's sake, that's your right to do something about it, and something safe and constructive. So don't let anybody try to take that choice from you, or tell you that you shouldn't do that. If you are having negative feelings because of your hairline or your hair getting thinner, at least in my experience, it didn't get better. There was no amount of comforting or cheer from loved ones and people who mean well that made me feel better about it. The only thing that has made me feel better is fixing the problem. So, moving on. Why Turkey? Why did I fly to the other side of the world? I live in Los Angeles, by the way, so Lord knows there's 100 hair transplant places around the corner, I'm sure. First of all, if you don't know this, Turkey, Istanbul in particular, is a mecca for hair transplant. If you go there, even as just a tourist, you'll see men with their hair wrapped up like mine was, who have just had the transplant. Men fly from all over the world, the Middle East, India, Europe, the Americas, you name it. They're flying there for affordable and high quality transplants. So point two on why Turkey, it's infinitely cheaper. It is so much more affordable. To do what I did, I had about 3,500 grafts done from the back of my head to up here. The prices I was getting here in Los Angeles were about $8,000 to $10,000. Some as low as $6,000 or $7,000, but mostly $8,000 to $10,000, even $12,000 to $14,000. I don't have a whole lot of money, and even if I did, I don't know how I'd feel about spending that on a transplant. So to go to Turkey and get the exact same procedure done for $2,500 or $3,000 or $3,500 means buying the round trip plane ticket, and in my case, traveling for 2 weeks afterward and getting the transplant were about half the cost than just doing it here. So it just made sense. And again, they are the standard. They not just the clinic I went to, but others I looked at all really have great reviews. And I saw and talked to men there who were very happy with their results as well. The other reason for Turkey, I want to go to every country in the world, so I just wanted to travel. I'll do another video about that if anyone's interested. Even if you're not looking to do a transplant, go to Turkey. Go see it. You'll thank me. So next section, the process. So at the point I selected the Cinik Clinic based on the reviews I had seen and testimonials like this one, I reached out, and they will message you on WhatsApp because there's a 9-hour time difference, so their night is your day, but they will message you, and so you are talking. It's not a bot, it is a real person you're talking to. They'll have you take pictures. I think I have some of those of what I was looking like, and they'll send them of from the back, from the front, from the sides. And there's the different Norwood skills. I don't have them memorized, but there's different patterns of, male pattern baldness. They assess which one you are. They propose what you need, what grafts you need. So all of that was great. And I asked a lot of questions. I was probably a very, very annoying customer, but they were so patient with me. They answered all of my questions, every assurance I needed. Even if they weren't sure of the answer, they came back and had someone else write back to me who did know the answer, and so gave me full confidence before I booked anything. Now, if you're doing your research as I did, you probably already know there are different styles of hair transplants. There's FUE or FU, or I guess where they cut the strip. I got DHI, direct hair implantation. Yes, I am reading from a cue card, where they have a pin that goes straight into your follicles back here, the ones that don't go away when men typically lose their hair up here, and then directly then inject it into the new hairline up here. It's a bit more expensive, but it doesn't leave a scar. And apparently with the scar also comes tightness, I've heard, where it's hard to like look down. So no scar. They're just sampling randomly from all over, and it's apparently they can get tighter, more compact results, more follicles put in up here. So I got DHI. I had about 3,000. They said it was between 3,000 and 3,500 grafts put in. And I think I have pictures here from the day of the operation. So as far as the price goes, they charge in euros, and there is the Turkish lira that of course is the currency of Turkey, but they charge in euros. It was for mine. It was 2,990 euros, of which 500 were due as a deposit, which is not refundable, but could be applied if you need to move to a different date. That 500 deposit stays in. Now, one catch. So far, I know I've only said positives about the Cinik Clinic, and those are all true. It's still an overwhelmingly positive experience. One catch that I do want you to be aware of that I did not know is there is a 10% surcharge if you pay for the procedure by credit card. So if you're paying for the whole thing, you're getting about 300 extra euros thrown on if you pay by credit card. So I did not want to do that. And I also did not want to fly across the world with 3,000 euros in cash. So I had to pull that money upon landing in Istanbul, and that was a bit of a hassle. So you do have a choice to make if you want to take the hit and pay an extra 300 euro, risk getting your money stolen and fly across the world with it in your pocket or wherever, or 3, do what I did and pull it out when you land, in which case let your bank know ahead of time, and even if you do, as I did, they're gonna lock your account, so you have a phone ready, have an international calling card, have your bank on speed dial so they can unlock your account so you can pull that out, as I did. So that was one catch. Now, moving on, they pick you up from the airport, so all you've got to do is walk out the door. There's somebody there with your name. They'll drive you straight to the clinic. I got in late at night too. My plane came in at like 10:30 at night, and they still drove me to the clinic. And what they do is a blood test where they are checking for HIV and hepatitis C. If you test positive for either of those, they are not going to do the procedure because there is lots of blood involved, and that puts their staff at risk. So definitely, even if there's not any question, definitely get that test done before you fly to Turkey. Make sure you know with 100,000% certainty you are negative, so that you don't fly there and God forbid, have the whole thing go out the window. So, as far as the accommodations go, before we get to the procedure, that was all top notch. They drive you everywhere. You're never left wondering where to go. They let you know, they're still messaging you on WhatsApp and telling you where to go, when to be ready, etc. The lodging, they put you up for 3 nights at Point Hotel. At least that's what it was for me in April of 2021. I don't know if that's still what they do. Point Hotel was first rate, excellent lodging. The best lodging I stayed in my 2 weeks that I stayed after. So all of that was great. Let's move on to the operation itself, the day of. So they pick you up, they drive you there. First off, their staff, their facilities are first rate, first world. If you've never been to Turkey, if you have not traveled a lot internationally, Turkey is absolutely a first world nation. It is all as modern as America or anywhere else that you might compare it to. The facilities were clean, sterile, what you want them to be. The staff speaks English. They are beyond helpful, so friendly. They know there's perhaps some fear involved going into it, and so they take you by the hand through that. The morning of, so you get up at like, you meet there at like 8 a.m. You meet with Dr. Cinik himself. He will draw the hairline. Now, on this, I haggled with him a little bit. He's going to draw with a sort of a charcoal pencil on your head the proposed hairline. It was a bit higher than what you see. You saying, well, when you're older, that's what an older man's hairline would be. That's not what I wanted. And so I haggled with him. I recommend, this is permanent. So make sure it is exactly what you want it to be, because you're the one that's going to see it every day and live with it for the rest of your life. So make sure this is what you want. So he accommodated when I asked, can we go a little lower, please? He said, sure, and we negotiated. He went a little higher than what I asked for, but I trust his professional opinion that this is what's best. On that, in my research, I was looking also to get like this low, because I was missing my teenage hairline, thinking that's what you need to look young. Truth is, no. This high here, I'll pull it back, you can see here. This is obviously higher than what my hair would have been as 20-year-old. But even at this, I feel look 10 years younger. You do not have to have it all the way down to where it was to look young. You just need this top covered. So just trust me on that. Apparently the hair on your temples is a different type of hair that they cannot naturally, if you get that, you get like antennas. So I couldn't be happier with this. The temples are still gone. That's the way it is. So here's a video after you meet with him. They shave your hair. Here it goes. We'll watch that. Bye-bye. Okay, so I've got my military buzz cut. I'm ready for the procedure, so let's move on. Which brings us to the cost of this. And I am not talking about euros or dollars. I'm talking about the price you pay, and that price is pain. I cannot overstate to you how painful this is. And it's not Dr. Cinik's fault. It is not the technician's fault. It's the nature of the beast. There are several needles going into your head. They are long needles. It is excruciatingly painful. You need to know that going in. It's one thing as an abstract thought. It's another thing to actually feel it. Now, they had a special when I booked it in which you get a needle-free anesthesia. And I don't really know if that was helpful. It felt like a rubber band getting snapped against my head over and over. I actually might recommend doing it without that needle-free anesthesia. But I have nothing to compare it to, so who knows how much more painful it would have been without. But I was there gripping the table as hard as I could. So bad that they stopped. They offered to stop. They took a break and they said, hey, we're not here to torture you. Do you want to call it a day? And I thought about it, and I thought, you know what? I've made it this far. I'm not getting a refund on my flight if I quit. Let's do it. Mess me up. And once I made that choice of they're not doing this to me, I am choosing to do this to myself, it didn't hurt as bad, actually. And with that said, though, it is very, very painful. And I'm going to be graphic for a second just because I wish someone had told me about this. So you're laying there like on a massage table, the little donut hole with your face laying there. They are taking that little needle and extracting the hairs from your head. Now at that point you don't feel it anymore. So the pain is the anesthesia needle sliding in, and then you can even hear it squirting that liquid into your scalp. I thought we're talking like when you go to the dentist, one shot, owie, and then it's numb. No. Each of these shots, the area that it actually numbs is about the size of a quarter or a $50, which means needle, 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 needle. And I even asked how many more, and they said, we don't know. I would estimate 70 to 80 times I had a needle put in my head that morning. While I'm laying there with the donut hole, at this point I'm numb. The anesthesia is kicked in. And they test too. They say, do you feel this? Do you feel that? At that point I don't feel. But I know now they're extracting. They're taking the hairs out. And I just see, so there's the sheets hanging down so you don't see. And I just start to see lines of blood running down in all directions. And realize that is my blood coming out of my scalp. So the morning is them extracting all of that. At which point you're numb, you have lunch, and then flip over onto your back, and now you'll see, and here's a picture, there's my hair on a tray, lovely. So now you're on your back, and then they start putting the hair in. And again, all that pain you felt in the back of your head, guess what? They turn around and do it again on the front of your head, that needle, 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 needle. So they do that, then you're numb, then they start the implantation process. At which point, I actually fell asleep. I slept most of the afternoon, I was jet lagged. I woke up around 6 p.m., we're done, free to go home. So that is the procedure. Here is a picture of me immediately after, or a few pictures. So you can see immediately where they've put the hair in. Pretty raw. So now let's talk about the recovery. What happens at this point? You probably already know this if you're doing your research, but in case you don't, here is a overall, your hair, the actual hair that came out, will grow for the next month, and you'll see it as it's going to be. And here's a picture of that. So you're seeing exactly the new hairline you've got, but then that will fall out. And you will be right back where you started. Don't panic. This is all expected. They tell you that. And here's some pictures of me a few months later. Actually, I think looking worse than I was ahead of time. Again, expected. And then over the next 6 months, the follicle, which did survive, begins pushing out new growth that is permanent. That's what I've got now. I'm at 9 months in. They say it will keep getting thicker and have more hair growing all the way for a whole year, for 12 months. So I've got 3 more months of this getting even thicker yet, and I might do another update, I don't know. So anyway, right after the procedure, you can see here, I had a whole regimen of pills I had to take. Some are pain meds, some are to keep it from getting infected, some are to keep it from rejecting the hair transplant. I had to make up a little schedule. Some are before breakfast, after breakfast. And I was traveling, so I had to make sure I stuck to that. So stick to your pills, take what's needed. You don't want anything to go wrong. In addition to that, which is mandatory, they also sell shampoo and saw palmetto vitamin you can take, which I took both. I used the shampoo. I have nothing to compare it to, so I don't know if it would have been worse without, but I like my results. I think that's in part due to the shampoo and the vitamin they give. So I recommend them. Go ahead and buy them. You spend all this money to get your new hair. May as well not cut any corners. Then I had to wear a headband. It's very dopey looking. Here's a picture of it. There's me on a boat tour. And that's just to keep your head from swelling and from any blood that might be oozing out from going into your face. Wear the headband. You have to wear a goofy hat. I think I have a picture of that. You don't want sun on it. You can't swim for a month. You can't exercise for a month. You can't have sex for a month. There's a lot of restrictions in your daily life. It's really for the next 30 months. They don't want this getting agitated. You can't scratch your head, obviously. I did see somebody come in the day after when I did my checkup who had blood running down his face, and they were there saying, "What did you do? What did you do?" So it is not idiot-proof. It is not foolproof. You can mess this up if you don't follow the instructions afterward. After about a month or so, basically all those restrictions drop off and you can resume normal life. There was more pain. They give you some heavy-duty medication you can take. I tried to stay off those, but there was a day or two I had to take those. If you're driving, be careful getting in and out of your car. I was on some gravel roads and would hit a bump and my head would hit the back of my seat there, front of my seat and a headrest, and there'd be a lovely red stain. So be careful right afterward. Lastly, last thing to say is, if you fly to Turkey, if you spend all this money, may as well see Turkey. This has nothing to do with the hair transplant. I'm just throwing this in because I highly encourage, see Istanbul, see Turkey, go to Cappadocia, go to Troy, go to Bodrum, go to, where else did I go? Ephesus, see the Roman sites, the biblical sites, the scenic sites, go to the Mediterranean. Again, that's a whole separate video, but I highly recommend it. So, in summary, yes, I recommend getting a hair transplant. Yes, I recommend Dr. Cinik. Yes, I recommend do your own research, pick what's best for you. Do not let other people tell you what choice to make. Of course, take everyone's opinions, but it's your hair, your decision. You are not in any way wrong to want to use the tools that we've been given in this modern era to get you the hairline you want. Thank you for watching. That's really all I've got to say. Feel free to message me with any questions you might have. I'll do my best to answer. Again, here's what they did for me. I'm very happy with the results, and I look forward to it continuing to thicken and get even better. And I think there's no reason you won't have results just as good and thick as these. So thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.